So it looks like Xbox is going to continue this initiative of putting their first-party games over on PlayStation 5 and other platforms, as a new report comes from Jez Corden of Windows Central, who reveals quite a lot of information, some of it being very concerning for anyone who owns an Xbox, and it really just gives us an idea of what Microsoft is thinking with this new strategy with Xbox and their games, and pretty much what their plan is going forward. Now, quickly, before we jump in all of this, guys, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep this community growing. Now, let's talk about this little bit from Jez Corden that highlights more of Xbox's plans. He says the plan to move Xbox games to other platforms is codenamed Latitude internally, and I know there's debate and unease at Microsoft about whether or not this is a good idea. Naturally, this should come with the territory of unease because of what it is, right? Porting all of your exclusives to the competing platforms, making an Xbox console moot and pointless in its entire form. There's no point in owning an Xbox other than maybe the incentive of Game Pass. He goes on to say more upcoming Microsoft-owned games slated for PlayStation are already being developed. At least for now, they are potentially obvious games you'd most likely expect. So he doesn't state exactly what it is or what the games will be, but games you would expect. So big titles, probably like Halo Infinite, and he talks about that later on, and we'll cover that. Forza, Gears, Fable probably coming up, Hellblade 2, and pretty much every game you can imagine. And you're gonna know why I'm saying this with this next statement. From what I've heard, Microsoft is pushing for no red line for what games could come to PlayStation. It all revolves around Satya Nadella and CFO Amy Hood's mandate to increase every department's margins. In other words, we want to make money. That's what it's about. We want to make the most money possible, and there are no boundaries on what game can go forward onto other platforms and what can't. So that tells me everything I need to know, which is these games are going, man. So if you were expecting Gears, Halo, all these games to stay exclusive to the Xbox platform and PC, that's not happening. These games are all going based on this information. And Jez Corden, he is informed. He knows a lot of information that he has leaked out previously. This is nothing new. This is the Xbox guy. This is the Microsoft guy that reveals everything. So key point to keep in mind when we're talking about these games going and why I'm so confident that that is the case. The last quote that I'm taking: pursuing this strategy is a short-term margin booster with long-term consequences. And this is what Jez Corden believes. And I agree with him. And he's absolutely right there. Yes, you're going to short-term boost your margins, but in the long term, you've just killed Xbox. And he says that with this next part where he says, but destroying the foundational reason to buy an Xbox isn't the answer you give if you do care about the long term. And the fact of the matter is, they don't care. They care about pushing software and making the most money possible. They're not concerned with building the Xbox console or whatever they have going on there. That's something that they're not interested in. And now that it's a Microsoft gaming, because that's pretty much what it's become, you can forget about Xbox hardware. They are fundamentally destroying what it means to own an Xbox. Because with all this information, what we know is that, okay, all these games you can imagine that are going to be very profitable on competing hardware are going to go there. You're going to see Forza, you're going to see Halo, you're going to see Gears, you're going to see Fable, you're going to see Hellblade, you're going to see all these games coming, Indiana Jones, Blade. All of these games are going to go to PS5. You basically have killed off the Xbox platform. And it's obvious, and there's no argument about it, because their only incentive for you to own an Xbox piece of hardware at this point is, we've got Game Pass, and you have cloud saves, and you have backwards compatibility, and maybe you got a library of games. But that's it. That's all there is. That's not incentive enough when you know for a fact that you can go to PC, you can go to PlayStation, and you can play all of these games as well. You've killed the Xbox hardware. So this new article that came out truly solidifies what we've been saying and what Jez Corden already actually revealed, which was more exclusives were coming and that they don't care anymore. This was something that he already said, and then people said, you're taking it out of context. It's an opinion. It's not actually what he knows. And now he comes out with an article telling you, hey, this is an informed piece of information that I'm telling you. So it's like this entire thing is happening. And I feel like this constant push to try to move goalposts is unnecessary, because now we know that Xbox is, number one, not interested in making exclusives for their platform, and number two, that their hardware is now the least valuable it's ever been, the least interesting and the least enticing to buy on the market right now. And you don't need to look any further than the 800,000 consoles they sold in an entire year. Yes, meeting up against the 20.8 million that PS5 sold. It's an obvious story that has come to its end, and we know exactly what this means for the future. And we know Microsoft's plan for the future. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though, about all of this. Do you think Microsoft is going to drop all their exclusives on PS5? Which games do you want to see, and will you support them if they come over there? Or are you still holding up for the hopes that they're going to keep giving Xbox console owners exclusives? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and share the video to keep this community growing. I thank you all for watching. Take care.